coaches in the NBA.
Lordy.
What is going on?
It's no stability, man.
Boy, it's hard being a coach.
Man.
It's no stability, dude. And a lot of people used to ask me, so what do you want to do after basketball? You see yourself being a coach? Hell no.
And this is why, when you saying that, people always ask why ex-players don't come back and coach in the NBA. And I think it's several, because I asked several things. Number one, because you could be fired quickly. Number two, can you really say what you need to say to get the most out of your player?
Nope.
Because a guy that's been in the league, has made an income that allows him to say, you shut the F up and get the hell out of here. It puts him in a different seat. You know, most of the coaches are still working their way up to get paid.
Why the fuck are coaches that played in the league sitting behind the fucking bench? That's number one. Why are they in the G League? Why are they behind the bench? Those are motherfuckers that's been there and experienced it.
Yeah.
Why the fuck they sitting behind the bench?
Yeah.
They know more than any motherfucker with a clipboard in front of the bench. I'm sorry to say it.
Nah, I mean,
how they treat ex-players, you got to go to the G League, you got to do this. Why the fuck do I got to do that? These other coaches didn't have to do that shit. Why I got to? And it's just no stability. If I coach, it'd have to be for the Miami Heat or the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
That's the only stability
Golden
in the league.
No,
Golden State. That's the only stability in the NBA.
Yeah,
Everybody else, you're going to move your whole family and you're going to be out of there.
About a year or two. You get a year or two max.
Year or two max. Like, that's not fun. Like, that's whack to me.
Nah.
It's whack.
And great players need great coaches.
No, 100%.
You got to be coached.
But the thing is what is even a great coach nowadays? Because we see Bud, we see him win a championship in Milwaukee. Seemed like a great coach. We see him come to Phoenix,
you
get fired in a year.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would say he's not a great coach, right? And so, like, what even is a great coach, and especially if you don't have the time to really put your DNA and your prints on a team, on an organization. We talk about culture all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, people, it's funny to me that people like to talk about and laugh at it, like, oh, and shit on culture. When that's what everybody is striving for. We all are striving for culture in our home, in our household,
everywhere in your
place
life.
of work. We all striving for a certain level of culture. We got people crying about, culture, what the cultures is going on around these different places. And
But
so
the three places
how do you get culture?
How do you get culture?
If you get a coach there for a year, for 2 years, you don't have time to build culture. You always bringing coaches in and out.
So
you ain't got time to build culture.
Right.
At all.
That's why the three places you name all have culture.
Yes, exactly.
It all has accountability.
Yeah.
There.
So I think we need to get better people in these positions of power, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
bring people that's been there. These former players, these are brilliant minds. These dudes know it all. We've been playing hoop since we've been 8 years old, played at the highest level. We need more basketball people in basketball.
So why do you think they firing coach? You think it's because they feel like they're supposed to win championships?
Yeah, it's pressure. You get pressure from the fans. You get pressure from the owners. You get pressure from...
Of two people who never won championships, go ahead. Don't know what it takes to win.
And then you get pressure from the media. So what's next?
A third one that don't know what it takes to win.
Exactly. So that's
why the pressure comes from people who's never won a championship before.
Exactly. So that's where it's coming from. And then now you making these stories up. Half of the shit be false.
Yeah,
a lot of this shit be clickbait. Now you got the player, the coach, the GM, the owner. Everybody is causing friction because you let some guy with a pen type up something or write up something that's not true, or sources say. Tell me who the source is.
Right.
I'm not rolling with none of that stuff until I know who the source is.
I mean, coaches.
I don't know why I'm getting hot right now.
Can't get fired. No, but that's good though
that's bullshit.
But coaches can and should be fired. But what I'm looking at is when are they getting fired right now?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Like this don't make sense to me.
No, this is crazy. Phoenix got 4 coaches on the payroll,
a healthy payroll,
all the way back to Monty. That's when they had
was it 3 or 4? I just said 4. Is
Monty,
it 3?
It's Monty.
Who was after Monty last year?
A coach of the LA
Frank Vogel.
And now
Bud.
Monty's coaching at his son high school right now. He chilling, feet up.
Because he getting paid.
Because Detroit signed him like 86.
Yeah, because he went to Detroit and got a bag too.
Yeah, but he started the culture here in Phoenix.
Yep.
They were actually
They got to the finals right with him.
And they let him go. They let him go.
Bro, I mean, just the list of the coaches getting fired. Mike Malone just got fired. And listen, we're not saying that no one should get fired.
No,
we're not in these
saying.
organizations we don't know, but like, these are all coaches. If you go down a list of the coaches that's gotten fired, you're going to pull off coaches who you've won championships over the last 6 years.
Yep.
4 or 5 of them done. Like, if you get coach of the year, or if you win a championship, your job is not safe.
Right.
How is that a thing? If y'all win coach of the year, or if I take my team to the playoffs over and over and over, why is my job not safe? Because you know what everybody's not doing in the NBA? Owners, y'all are not winning championships. This doesn't just happen because you got money and you want to win a championship.
Right.
You have to have patience. You have to build. You have to build culture. You have to fight. You have to build through community. You have. It takes.
You got to
time.
develop.
You got to develop, and it's not just developing players. You got to develop your entire staff.
Right.
Everybody has to have a championship mindset, and the championship mindset is the ability to be able to sacrifice.
Yep.
It's a lot of words that come to that. It's the ability to be able to understand accountability. Like it's so many things that when it comes to like what a champion mindset is before you even get to fucking training camp.
Right.
It has to start from the top to bottom. And I'm only saying this because, my involvement with the Jazz, we've talked about this. We've talked about, hey, how do we build culture starting from the owner, Ryan Smith, the governor of the team, all the way down to whoever you would look at as somebody you don't know.
Absolutely.
How do you build culture? How do you take out the hierarchy and all this stuff? Where everyone's so afraid of their jobs.
Yeah.
Afraid of losing their jobs in the NBA, right?
Everybody walking on eggshells.
Everyone's walking on eggshells. Can't nobody do their job.
But then that limits, you cannot do your job walking on eggshells.
And that's what the hierarchy is.
Yeah.
And that's what we have in our league. And so like even coming into, and me very early into this from this side, but even coming into the coaching interview side of it in Utah, when we brought Will Hardy in, it was like, this young man at 34 years old, I think he's going to be a great head coach. But he's only going to be a great head coach if Danny and Ryan has patience with him. Yeah. He's not going to be a great head coach here in Utah if we give him 2 or 3 years while we're rebuilding and rebooting
be somewhere else.
and put him somewhere else.
He's going to be JB Bickerstaff. That's a prime example. Somebody that was doing an amazing job in Washington first, then was it Cleveland? And now,
let's take him all the way back to the Rockets when Coach McHale stepped down.
Come on now.
He stepped in and filled that position.
Right. Give these guys an opportunity. JB Bickerstaff
man.
is one of the best coaches in his league, and we're seeing it right now with a young, fiery Detroit Pistons team.
Yeah,
you got to have some patience. You got to let these guys rock out, and you got to give him the talent to be successful as well.
Yeah,
I know a lot of these teams don't want to put the best talent out there because you got to pay, you got to do all this and that.
Then you're not trying to win.
Exactly.
They gave Bud a 5-year deal. It was 5-year, $50 million. He did 1 year.
Come on, man.
How? I know he had Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and then eventually Bradley Beal. I know he had names on back of a jersey, these guys who are stars in his game. 1 year, it takes way longer than that to even get to know. Forget basketball. Me and you, it took us a while to get out to grow into this brotherhood.
Yeah.
We didn't grow into it in the first year. No. It takes a while to grow into these brotherhoods that we're developing here. And so you're gonna give a coach 1 year to say, all right, go do something that the coach before you didn't do.
Right.
And that's when try to win a championship.
Sport. In a professional
Bro, you're not winning championships in professional sports like that.
Nope.
Everybody out here tripping.
So
you know how hard it is to win a championship? Like, let's stop playing with it. And I said this, and I talked about this early when I came into Utah as a team who was very, very good when I got in there. And I got a chance to watch practice and be a part of the rooms and watch film and all these things and just analyze, fly on the wall. And then coach asked me, what do you think? And then Ryan asked me what I thought. And I said, it's a very good team. It's not a championship team. It has nothing to do with the individual players on here. They ain't been through enough together. If you're going to win that, you're going to put this trophy over your head, you know how much you got to go through together? Like, you got to, and so I didn't see it just from the together, it's a togetherness that you feel, man. It's a unity. You got to be unified. You got to be hip to fucking hip. That's why you saw me and LeBron in press conferences do his entire journey in Miami. It wasn't because I wanted to get any more shine.
Right.
I wanted LeBron to need a fucking babysitter.
Right.
No. We're going to be hip to hip, bro.
Right.
Because we have for a job we have to complete, and that's to win championship. So that means that everywhere you go, besides your private spaces, I'm going. And so if you don't have that mentality, when practice ends, this guy go over there, this guy go over there, this guy go over there, y'all not win a championship.
No, it's gonna be tough.
It doesn't work like that. Rondo talked about on here.
Yeah,
when they won a championship in 1 year in 2008. They were all together. They all went bald head.
Yep.
Like, you have to be together, bro.
Yeah.
And so they're not giving the coaches an opportunity to even build. I don't know if the coaches are, if they're
There's going
doing
to be
this.
more coaches,
But
too.
organization-wise, like, who's making the decisions? Y'all gotta be a little bit more realistic on the decisions that y'all are making to bring in coaches and GMs, and forget getting to the players. Like, y'all gotta make a better decision on who y'all bringing in to lead the organization.
So that was going to be my next question to you. There's some really good associates and assistant ex-players that haven't had an opportunity to be a head coach, and they got multiple rings as a player.
Yeah, why is that?
And they got multiple rings.
Sam Cassell.
That's why my boy Sam. He got multiple rings as a player, and he got multiple rings as a coach.
So why Sam Cassell can't get that job, but somebody out the video room can? Why is that?
I'm always asking that question.
Man.
Because for me, you know, it's so simple to be able to look and say, okay, he has all of the DNA he needs. And then look at the head coaches he worked for. And look at the job that he does, and then look at his relationship with the players. He has everything. He's seasoned, and he's ready.
Right.
And he never get the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like if you can communicate with your players, you can get anything out of them.
Right.
And when I coach teams, I'm trying to relate with the fellas. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the police officer all the time, policing everything. Sometimes I gotta hang, I gotta, know the lingo and communicate with my guys, and that's how I'm gonna get the best out of them on the court. Sam Cassell, that rings bells. When I see Sam right now, it's the same energy it was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? He always made me feel like that big bro,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of coach I'm pretty sure that you'd be to get those guys to play for him. We see Ime doing it in Houston. Yeah. You don't think he don't know the lingo and how to communicate to these young dudes to turn their season around and be second or third in the West?
Yeah.
Like he knows the lingo because he relates to these guys. So we gotta get more guys in basketball that play basketball at the highest level, not the rinky-dink shit. That shit don't count. Get these dudes as I see behind the bench
and give them opportunities and give them chances. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, I hate for someone like Sam to get a job. Let's say the Washington job opens up and they say, oh, Sam, this is your chance. And then you get Sam a year or two. Like, you got it. It takes time. It's gonna, like, if you're going to get somebody a deal for $50 million for 5 years, then you got to let that person
let them coach.
See this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the players may change, the jerseys may change, but when it comes to the coach, you need stability at that space.
No doubt.
Like, one thing you know about the Miami Heat, you knew Spo wasn't going nowhere. You know why? Because Riley came down and told you, he's not going anywhere. So if you got a problem, you can go. He's here.
Right.
So that's out. Now we know that's out the way.
That's done.
That's done. So he ain't going nowhere.
Let's give some love. I forgot. Chauncey Billups. He just got an extension.
He did get his extension.
He just got an extension.
Shout out to Billups.
Because of what he's done over the last, he's been there 3-4 years.
Yep.
They weren't the best team, but he's developing the talent.
And they're giving them time.
They understand. So the GM just got an extension.
Yeah.
And now Chauncey gets an extension. Why? They're patient with him, like you just mentioned. And why is it? It's Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
Come on, all those guys watch Chauncey Billups in the Palace. Billups. They know. So it's a respect level. He speaks the language. The people around, my guy Pooh Jeter, he speaks the language.
Yeah.
He communicate with these guys. So we got to get more guys in basketball so we can see more stories like a Chauncey Billups. That just dawned on me.